Okay guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today, a little bit of an update. We'll see where this video kind of takes me, but I just got done changing the oil in the BRZ. It's been a long weekend, to be totally honest. Got back from racing. Today is Tuesday. Kind of took Monday off to chill out, but we were racing Saturday and Sunday for Super Duper Tour. It's middle of the season, so I decided to do an oil change. Got some more Motul Ecolite 0W20. Still rocking the 20 weight. Haven't moved up to a 30 yet. And we're going to see what we're going to do with that. Because behind me right here, I actually took apart the oil filter. And I have an oil filter opener tool here. I actually made a video on this before, and the video turned out like a total shit show because I didn't know how to properly use the tool. So after I looked up online how to actually use it properly, I was able to more cleanly cut open the canister here and get to the insides. And what I did was I took apart all of the paper on the inside and I looked all throughout the paper. So all in here, took a look at everything, and everything looks okay in here. I didn't find anything in here. Nothing's really weird. I did find a small piece. I mean, this isn't even going to show up on the camera, but I have a magnet here, and it's a small piece. Like, it's a single little small piece, and it's non-ferrous. Oh, maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it's stuck because of the oil. There's like oil on this, but it usually doesn't stick to this. And it if it was a piece of steel or something like that, maybe from the canister here, from the cutting, you can see this sticks directly to the canister, right? So it's not a piece of, that's how you determine if it's a piece of like steel or something from the construction of this thing, that maybe when you were cutting this, it kind of fell out or whatever. This appears to be a non-ferrous material, which can only mean that it's probably aluminum. So, and you know what aluminum means? That means it's from your engine. Now, I mean, am I like overly concerned? I mean, it's like a speck, like I can't really, it's like, it's a single little speck. It's not like I have tons of, crap throughout there. And the other thing I keep reminding myself is I'm super conscious of, oil change, oil levels, all that jazz. Like, this oil literally has probably like 1,000 miles on it, plus like, I don't know, 15 autocross events. But I change my oil often. I use good oil, you know what I mean? So there was also, by the way, I run an magnetic oil drain plug, right? And when I take that out, I get little spots of some little small material on them, right? My WRX kind of does this, I think, to some extent. You do get some, like, these are not chunks by any means. This is like material that accumulates on the magnet after like miles and miles and miles. You can rub it off when you pull the drain plug out. You rub it off on a piece of paper towel, and you can kind of see that there's stuff here. And I think, well, it doesn't even get back on this. So it's metal, you know what I mean, but it's kind of okay in a way. Now, the other thing I did as precautionary is I went out to Blackstone Laboratories and I got one of their oil kits. So what you do here is I'm going to put this over here so I don't lose it. You take a sample of your oil, and ideally you do this when the oil is draining out and kind of like you have that stream of oil coming out. You kind of get it right in the middle of that, so you're not taking it out of a pan or anything. And you put it in this bottle, and it's got a little, I don't want to say insulator, it's a little thing to soak up any excess oil or anything on here. So I'm going to put a sticker on this to tell them the mileage and some other things, and then we're going to put this in here, and we're going to send it off for an oil analysis to see what the heck is actually going on in the oil. And again, it's all precautionary. Like, I don't think that there's anything really wrong or anything. I feel like a lot of people do not go to this level, I guess is what I'm saying, of cutting open oil filters and everything, because if I hadn't cut open this oil filter, I wouldn't have found any of this stuff, right? So I think a lot of times I cause myself a lot of, like, I'm looking into things like too much, and then I see like a small little speck and I start like freaking out a little bit. But what actually prompted this was the last time I changed my oil, I had Castrol 0W20 in there, and it was just from over winter. That's what I have sit in the car over winter. And I did like 1 or 2 autocross events on it. It's great oil. I mean, if you go to like any store and you get like Castrol, Pennzoil, I order Motul because it's like a Subaru thing, you know. Subaru kind of like has a partnership with Motul a little bit. So that's what I use. But if you use any 0W20, 5W30, like whatever, you know, whatever your choice is, because there's a ton of arguments for and against different things. I run the 20 weight because it seems to fit the bearing clearances of the FA20 the best. Running a 30 weight is also really good too, but again, we're not doing track days. We're doing autocross and street driving here, so I think the 20 weight and using a proper Tokyo Roki filter, the Subaru filters, is probably your best bet. And obviously cut these open, look in them, I guess, but I guess don't get too freaked out if you do actually see any metal in there. You should not see chunks of metal. Okay, there's a difference between getting a little bit of wear. You're gonna have wear, right? And that's what the oil analysis is gonna tell me, how much wear we're getting here. But you're gonna have some little bit of wear, because all of this, if you didn't have a magnetic drain plug, would be in your oil pan when you, not the oil pan on the car, but the oil pan that you drain the oil into. It would all be in the bottom of that, and a lot of people don't even look at that. They kind of look at it and go, oh, I guess it's okay, and they chuck it into a jug and they go recycle it, right? And a lot of people don't do this. So whatever floats your boat. I mean, I think you should probably every once in a while have an oil analysis done. I haven't had any done on the BRZ or my WRX ever. I'm a little hesitant to get it done, but it's needed, right? So we're gonna get that done. I will come to you guys with the results, and we'll just go over the results and we'll see what kind of actual wear, because it's the only way I'm gonna be able to know what is in the oil and how much wear I'm having, or if there's actually a problem. The good news is all of the wear and all of the metal that I'm seeing, at least, this is not microscopic, right? This is just what I'm seeing in my oil pan here that I drained it all into. It's very, very, very small, and it's not really a lot at all. You can barely see a little bit in that pan. You can obviously see a little bit on the magnetic drain plug, but we're gonna get to the bottom of it, and we'll take it from there. So I'll bring you guys the results. The other thing I want to go over is just how the car is feeling real quick. The car is, I don't want to call it amazing just yet, but it's really good. I took it out to the low-key event. I did some testing. We did some testing with the shocks, with the damper levels. I settled with a little bit stiffer in the back than the front, a little bit softer in the front. That seemed to have a really good balance, and it really showed at Super Duper Tour this weekend. The car rotated really well. It was very drivable. It very much felt like the DS trim BRZ that I was used to driving for 4 years, I guess it was. And now kind of going into the 5th year here, I think. Has it been 5 years? 20, 21, 2, 3. Yeah, so 4. We are going to year 5 already, halfway through it. But yeah, we actually are halfway through the season. Cone Killer is coming up this weekend. Super Duper Tour was just the last couple days here. So we're having 4 autocross events in 9 days, because they're on opposite weekends there. So it's a lot of racing. That's why I'm changing my oil right now, just to make sure everything is fresh. Going to make sure the oil level is good before I head up there. It's kind of going to get broken in a little bit, heading up there. I don't know if oil needs broken in really, but we're going to make sure everything's okay heading up there, and I'm going to take it around a little bit here and do some, I always do that. You always start the car, kind of drive it around a little bit, 5-10 miles or whatever, just make sure there's no leaks or any weird stuff, and come back and check the oil, because some's going to get in the oil filter when you prime it at the beginning. So make sure you guys always do that. Make sure you prime your oil filters. Either fill them up if they sit like a cup underneath, or in the case of the BRZ where it sits on top, you can actually, I tell people this all the time and nobody knows about this, put your foot fully on the throttle and try to start the car, and the car's not going to start, but it's going to try cranking it. The starter's going to crank, and it's going to slosh up oil. You're going to build some oil pressure a little bit, and it's going to get it up into the filter so that you have some oil in that filter, right? That's the best you can do with the way everything is designed. And it's going to help bring that oil pressure up, maybe just like a second more or so, right when you start the car, so that it's not waiting for like this big air pocket to kind of get through it. It's what you can do. Every little bit helps, I think. So yeah, the car's been great. Handling wise, it's been great. I've been learning to trust the car a lot more. Chucking it in the corners, like it just felt really good. It felt so planted. You could just trust it. You know, the new alignment, nothing really changed. Zero toe all around, 4 degrees of camber up front, 2.5 in the rear. Yeah, the car just feels good. It's just good. So the only thing that I got to figure out is what's going on with the oil a little bit. And even that, it's not even really like what's going on with it. It's that I've never actually looked at it at this level. You know what I mean? So it may have been doing this for the past 40,000 miles and nobody's checked it, right? Nobody's looked at it, and to have some small wear in there is probably okay. I've looked online and I've seen a lot of people posting up like their pictures, not just with Subarus but with all cars. And sometimes people are like, I got metal shavings in my oil, and it's like chunks are coming out of this thing, like visible, like put it in your hand and slosh it around, chunks are coming out of this car. So that's not good. But if you have a little bit on a piece of paper that you're microscopically kind of looking at, or getting an oil analysis done to figure out what's on there, probably not that critical. I'm gonna bet it's probably aluminum from the aluminum block, but we will see. I'll bring you guys the results. I'll let you know how Cone Killer I do at Cone Killer. Can't even speak right now. How I do a Cone Killer coming up in the next week. Super Duper Tour was a blast, so that was cool. We're halfway through the season, so it's, like I said, oil change time. So that's just a little update. I will check back with you guys later if anything changes and when I get that oil analysis back. So peace out. Have a good night. See ya.